We'll get there. We'll get better as the night goes on. So we want to start this evening with an acknowledgement that this event is being hosted on the unceded traditional homelands of the Council of the Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations. Many other tribes, such as the Miami, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Sauk, and Fox, also call this area home. The region has long been a center for indigenous people to gather, trade, and maintain kinship ties. Today, one of the largest urban American Indian communities in the United States resides right here in Chicago, continuing to contribute to the vitality of this city and to celebrate their heritage, practice traditions, and care for the land and waterways. We invite you to take this moment to honor all who came before us, the indigenous peoples displaced by colonization, as well as those who built this country through uncompensated and compulsory labor, those enslaved and those oppressed. We honor those who came before and all those who continue to live on this land as we hold this shared space for art and expression. So this event, the Blue Hour, is hosted by the Chicago Poetry Center. At CPC, we believe that poetry illuminates our individual and shared humanity, fueling thriving lives and healthy communities. Our mission is to connect people and poetry, equitably engage poets with communities, and foster creative literacy in the city and beyond. We envision and work to create a fair and verdant world rooted in artistic expression, human connection, and boundless imagination. There's lots of information on the back table about our various programs, including these, our Literary Life offerings, which includes the Blue Hour, our summer series downtown, lots of other good stuff. We also provide a residency and performance series in Chicago Public Schools, so you can find out lots of information about that in the back, as well as Queen Z's Poetic Adventures, which is a free online digital classroom on demand for kids in 3rd to 5th grade, or really anybody. I mean, like, legit, I write off for writing prompts. So, Queen Z, forever. As well as our Critical Conversations Anti-Racism program. All at the back table. It's our 50th anniversary. Please applaud. We want nothing to make it to 50 years as a small literary arts organization, and we are here. This next month in November, we're going to launch our free online learning series that we are piloting our anniversary year. On November 7th, the amazing Lisa Lowe is offering a free workshop on how to submit to literary journals. So sign up, there's a QR code for that in the back, and then we'll have 2 others over the course of the year. We also have a city-wide literary events calendar. You can find the QR code for that in the back. If you know of or run a reading series or any kind of literary event, please check it out. Or if you just want to know about literary events happening around the city. We got real tired of having to Google it, so we made a calendar. Let's see, what else? We are live streaming, as I mentioned. We have an iPad here, which might be on its last legs, hard to say, but we have discovered today, just this day, that if you approach it too closely or bump the table ever so slightly, the folks at home can't see anything because the whole live stream stops. So I recommend going around the edges. Around the edges, all right? Please do that. Okie dokie. We are, speaking of going around the edges, we are going to have an open mic. And I mean going around the edges because if I call your name, please do that instead of ramming into the table, which is what I would do if I had my name called unexpectedly. Surprise. All right, so I'm going to pull out, we're going to do 5 readers. We're going to ask each of you to read 3 minutes or less. So if you have your own personal version of the Iliad or whatever, you just read 3 minutes of it. Cool. 1 poem or 3 minutes, whatever comes first. As audience members, let's all remember that poetry induces feelings. So if you need to take care of yourself in any way, get up, get some water, step out for a moment. Please just do so respectfully, quietly, but do take care of yourself in this process. Those are all those. Let's see who's going to start. Dun dun dun! Shivani Gupta!
poem called Let the Birds Dress Me This Morning. And in this version of sleep, I dream of no dreams, no true crime docus spilling over like sunsets into my conscience. Bodily fluids remain where they're supposed to. Bladder, throat, eyes, and nose, know not to cause untimely leakage. My organs will be ironed, battery-packed, chargeable beams, climbing into position nightly and tightly. Limbs snug, but not so snug they fall asleep to pins and needles. Items for my junk drawer, no longer a description of low oxygenation or overhydration, blushing pink of health. My cheeks sun-kissed with morning light, I will wake to honeydew and fall asleep when crickets croak their timely throats. Birds will know my name, for how nature integrated I'm about to be. Tell each other of the perfect being, fall into bed and righteous as she wakes. Their daybreak songs about me now. I must go where they call, for they never stay too long. Rest then, a kindness of belonging, waiting for a new leaving to visit. Thank you.
Many applauses for Shivani. Let's see who's next. This one is so neatly folded. Let's see, who is it? Who's the geometric person? Mariah T. Mariah T. All the way from the back. Give me applause, applause, applause,
Hi everyone. Oh, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Hello. Hi, live streaming people. Hi, people in real life. I'm Mariah T. I'm going to be reading one thing with a sort of prelude, if that makes sense, or like an intro. So the first one is called Post-Gone Emotion, and then we'll lead into I Can't Cut You Up. So it's a bit of a program. It'll be under 3 minutes, I promise. Somebody is in my heart. I feel the thumps of attempted escape caught out through my veins. Hand on my chest, I keep you close. The somebody in my heart I need the most. I can't cut you up. Scissors mirror shows me at the front line, open wide and ready, red scarf about to be red thread, but every sniff would bring back what you said. Pull me closer, tiny dancer. Lovely lyrics gone rancid, muscles preparing for my answer back to the fabric from Kenya. My howl will reverberate like an arena when I cut you into thirds, fourths, turn you around and pierce a lot more against the grain until I find a fray. Through this act, you shall pay. The textile class will be fainting when I show you this picture I'm painting of a woman gone mad with scissors. This garment that was his, and now hers, mine, crying for help. Ever since I hid it in the back of my shelf, away from light where it should be displayed, where love and age would have it fade. But love and age he took away when he hushed to goodbye that one day. Left me with you, with accents of blue, and I cannot cut into the fiber. But that doesn't mean my dogs can't have you either. Thank you.
Better in the long run. Hold on a second. I promise. It's gonna be awkward for a second. That's gonna be so much better. Hold on. There we go. Okay. All right. Yay! Applauses for delightful. All right. Who's up next? Oh, I got two. I'm gonna take this one. Gray Williams. Gray.
For years, we
ran into each other only in restaurants, on sidewalks. You found your way to my winter townhome, grew there a while, met in the library. We discussed worlds, and yours would be better. You could wrap around my heart, little tendrils pumping it for me, controlling ebb and flow, forcing my vision inward. You could conquer all. I love you more. I hate your flavor, rubber gills in mouth, but love your behavior, how you thrive in warm and wet and dark and spread till you are everywhere. You have already colonized me. I wait with fervor for your visit to my new Chicago place. We would ride trains, you would take over, push the L yourself. I would give tours near the pier while your spores climb skyscrapers. Your ambition knows no end, love. I think you will be justice. Thank you.
Yeah, so you may or may not be aware that there is a workshop, a generative writing workshop that happens each month before this. Ray was part of the workshop and has been, and it's always delightful to have them be part of it. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. All right, let's see. Raymond Cunha.
Hi everyone, is this good?
You're
How
great.
about if I'm here, is this good too?
Yes.
Okay, this poem is from May of this year and it's called Psychosomatic. There's an epigram. Epigraph?
Who knows?
Your wounds are hard at work, making their sacred medicine in the hidden spaces below the scars. This is from Pixie Lighthorse, who was an author and indigenous American healer. The body speaks, so intoned my napropath, deftly finding the load of wordless grief embedded beneath my right scapula. The body protects as I jump out of my skin when my husband, momentarily unmindful, approaches from behind without a gentle warning. Bodies remember, recalling in dermis unwanted touches, ruefully unable to diffuse, to distinguish from the wanted. The body stores time and trauma, whether in lightning of fiery synaptic coils of gray, or that right trapezius that just won't uncoil. Nose and tongue journal my body's journeys, as when dry pine needles and adobe, or fire-cooked salmon, evoke happier places and times. Bodies have eyes to see and ears to hear, but blind and deaf in memory's din, see past darkness in present tense. What a strange alchemy it is to feel, as when to my astonishment, tears rain and belly heaves, and it's only the late-night ASPCA commercial. At once a miracle marvel and a curse is this fleshy form, Shakespeare's mortal coil, full of secrets, words long labored to comprehend. The prompt was words, mimosa, funeral, remember, river, blessing, want, and a phrase, as I always told myself, and a season, autumn. We had a 15-minute free ride, and this is what came out of it. Mimosa. Hawaii, as I remember it, was a seasonless monotony of year upon year for the several our family lived in a self-exile, a diaspora, on the threshold of disintegration. What a sort of life it was, absent those turnings, absent the leaves of autumn, which never fall there, never signal the coming of a cleansing winter, the rewarding thaw and bake of spring and summer's sweet confections. As I always told myself, or certainly I must have done, in order to endure the din of domestic discord within the walls of 7 homes in as many years, this too shall pass. Past like a stream of funereal autos passes on the way to silent graves, where we remember and bless the departed, the lost. Past as the river Styx flows, and Karen the boatman awaits, beckoning us away from human want. Even in this paradise, there was an inevitable fall. If memory of those awful, humid, fetid days were a native island plant, it would surely be the intractable mimosa. No, not the pleasing shade-dappling tree. Rather, the menacing species adorned with mendaciously delicate pink blooms that clung fast to a backyard behind a home where we lived for a time before another abrupt eviction. An expanse of otherwise barren soil, save for this singular steely mesh, its thorny brachids and petioles forbidding any passing feet, whether bare or sandaled, whose ironically tender leaves retracted nightly into grim barbed wire, or in daylight folded at the slightest touch, as if bowed in a perverse act of prayer. Thank you.
You have to make mimosa, that's fine.
Okay.
It's fine, it's only Wednesday, I have to wait till Sunday, whatever. Just recording into the live stream, the archive forever, my alcohol jokes. My mother is so proud. All right, the last poem in our open mic, uttered by the last poet in our open mic, is going to be Alex.
Thank you. And I just want to say thank you to Marty and for an awesome workshop. As well as this lovely community for us all to get together and read some poems. Holy Hannah. To start, a prayer. A first time honest whisper, a willful holy. Everything went. Keen, I searched the anthill of thoughts for a holy enough name. How to pray true. How do I write a poem without a language? Is the answer the questioning? Is praying my unstitching to write now? Opened pockets, empty and soft by design. Here I give with both hands. Here, at holy night, I begin the unlearning of Father God name soiled by ever wars. Here I am, and you are. Here, unknowable all.
Many applauses for everyone in the open mic. Incredible. Thank you so much for being here and being willing to enjoy the experiment that is my name going to be called? When will I go on stage? As someone with anxiety, I understand what's happening in your bodies during that time. So I appreciate you hanging with it, and I'm very excited to hear your poems. And for those of you whose names weren't told, come back November 21st. I didn't even say this. Oh my gosh, I had so many announcements. So generally speaking, our Blue Hour series is the third Wednesday of every month. Next month, we are on a Thursday. Whoa. I know, mind's blown. What are you gonna do with your lives, right? So anyway, next month, it's November 21st, it's a Thursday. Our features are Monica Rico and Chris Thompson. Super excited for that. Monica is someone who was to feature for us last year, but ended up having to reschedule due to some emergency situations. And Chris Thompson is someone I've known since she was just a wee babe. So I'm very excited to have both of these poets coming through November 21st. We will not have a Blue Hour in December because it's December. Nobody comes to events in December. And it's real cold. But then January is even colder and we'll be back. Because by then we're used to it, right? January we're like, yeah, it's fine. It's wearing flip-flops at that point. So, anywho, mark your calendars, make sure you get on the mailing list. If you Hey, yes.
One more announcement while you're in announcement mode, which is that we were having a little party in the room across the way, and we have finished that party and we still have a lot of food. So it is now in this room. There is a lot of cheese, a lot of veggies, a lot of hummus, a lot of cookies.
Cookies are great.
Don't forget, there's a second shelf to this here that has cookies and plates and napkins, so please, like, get up and get yourself a snack, because there's so much food.
But if you're gonna do it, you know, just wait till after, or do it super quietly. Yeah. Sorry, live streamers, we have no snacks for you. But here, live at Blue Hour, there are snacks. Okay, we have two amazing features tonight, and I am so excited about this. Those of you, lots of excitement happening here. Those of you who've been to these know that one of the things that I have to talk about is the fact that in booking out a whole season of Blue Hour, I would love to be hyper strategic around like who is with whom and all that sort of stuff. But generally speaking, it's like who ends up being able to arrive on the same date. And this year we did add one layer to it, which is that because this is our 50th anniversary, applauses.
Oh, wow.
It never gets old. We are doing something this year where one of our features is an alum, somebody who has featured for us in the past, and someone is brand new to us, someone who's never read for us. Tonight's features are less random because I asked Charif to feature for us, Charif Shanahan. And I emailed to say to Charif, what would you like? We'd love to have you do this. Ooh, it just got real dark.
Mood lighting.
Did somebody lean against a thing or did we blow fuse? Okay, awesome. There we go. That was exciting. I really wanted to be like that. I'm getting ideas. Anyway, I emailed Charif. I was like, we'd really love for you to do this as our alum. And, you know, this is this thing. We're going to have also somebody who's never read for us. And he immediately responded and said, yes, I'd love to do it, blah, blah, blah. Can I read with Josh Barton? And I said, yes, 100%. Do you have an email? You know? So, super excited to have these two poets with us today. So much like, when I was thinking about their work in juxtaposition with each other, which is on the surface very, very different, I was thinking about how there is this, like, wildness in Charif's work that gets very contained within the space of poems. And there's this wildness in Joss's work that belies the containment underneath it that's actually like fueling it. So I was very excited when I had that thought, and I wanted to share it with all of you. And I think you'll see what I mean as we go into this. We're going to start with Joss. Yes, you want to kick us off? Fantastic. Here's the official bio. Joss Barton is a writer, journalist, and spoken word performance artist exploring and documenting queer and trans life, love, and liberation. Her work blends femme-fever dreams over the soundtrack of the American Nightmare, combining prose poetry, nonfiction confessional essays, drag artistry, and spoken word stage performances. Joss examines the myriad states of queer trans womanhoods from historical, political, and pop cultural identities of death, desires, dreams, and disco. Woo! I also love alliteration a lot. Thank you so much. All right, please,
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Chicago Poetry Center. Thank you, Haymarket. Thank you, everyone that's a part of Blue Hour Poetry for having me. Thank you to Sherry for I am going to read one poem. It's a longer piece. I have my first collection that's, I guess, like legally published. Coming out in 2026 by no DIY this time. But the title of the collection is called Goodbye to a Dream Believed. This is the title poem of that collection. Goodbye to a Dream Believed, a poem for the blue. Tell you? Another man is loving mine, another man is beating my time. Disco horns and piano and coke keys echo off the underpass. Goodbye to the gutter and skater pumps of South Kings Highway. Goodbye to the jazz stratocumulus clouds. Goodbye to another man, another midnight lover. Proto-faggot nationalism swelling with Donna and Whitney and Tina Turner. Aunt Mother scurrying along the vinyl antennae, shaking cosmic cum particles down the block. Disco trainee dolls twirling in Pacific Northwest brown kelp, seaweed cunt, pouty lips and cheeks baked in banana powder. She-male witches with long acrylic nails shoveling bumps of ketamine and coke up your nose. Young poets strung out on the plane listening to Linda Martell sing about misty San Francisco while she flies out of brush fire smoky Seattle. So much cocaine she forgot she had the winning raffle ticket. Kissing a stranger on the water as the blackberries plump themselves into fruiting BBLs. Bodywork of silicone and saline and sissification and the never-ending drone bombs exploding as Disney cartoon sounds, all big doll eyes and cuckoos. Mothers of Monsters, a camp revival of transsexual aesthetics and glamour drugs. Goodbye to the postal worker with his tossal gray hair and mustache, curled in the shade, smoking a cigarette. Shooting the shit with squirrels in the park outside my bedroom window. Goodbye to goodbyes, to finding a space so beautiful, you ain't leaving it. Ain't no running away no more, no silent tears in the back of the cab as the wind plays in your hair and the music is so gorgeous. The oyster comes so salty and sour. This transsexual summit, a chorus of prophecy to bring all this wickedness down. The cackles and snapping holy prayers and the pussy wet and flawless. So let us give praise to the brown femme body still alive. Thankful paradise toying with the limp flesh. You have become another blissful planet hanging above the headboard, mingling with the static and the cobweb, snorting salts until the sun rises and the streetlights burn red against the bricks. No more gasoline, the mornings sit impatiently on a blue pill. The memories are all washed with bleach. Goodbye to a dream believed. Hello to the acid-eyed tweaker twinks talking about collapsed veins and calibrated scales. Look into your black orb pupils, staring into the camera as a stranger films himself fucking you. Load the pipe, lick the baggie, log on to the fuck apps, long for the police to shed their skin into vats of oil as pig shit walks through the rain. It must be magic. It must be magic or mania or something like love that feels so good to me. Must be like feeling trapped pussy, tits bitten and molly rimmed into the ass. Must be a death disco rolling off the highway bridge walls. Must be outrunning the Nazis and burning their bodies. Must be summer fever. Goodbye to grief and grave digging and gods. Goodbye to sly trade with sad eyes and fat uncut cocks. Goodbye to the girlfriend fantasy that makes their mouths drool with thick ropes of dumb desire. Goodbye to dirt punk cyclists with roach tattoos and broken teeth and dirty nails digging inside my pussy guts as they talk about simulation theory and foie gras. Goodbye to white CDs. Goodbye to sub queens turned executive directors. Goodbye to trauma bonding that only lets one of us heal. Goodbye to tacky wet wigs and being spiritually botched. Goodbye to faux harm reduction rhetoric that only benefits you. Goodbye to embracing your inner trans cop. Hello to holding myself tight and praying for the collapse of American imperialism, to transsexual femme queen altars, to tranny fuck dolls worship, she-male rock stars worship, girl cops worship, transsexual deities worship. The cicadas all scream Sophie now, all screaming into gendered white android children. An entire set of AI Aryan Swiss Family Robinson robots who still took up all the airplane bathrooms. Pink glow of meth-induced wet dreams covered in coconut oil, and the smell of fresh cum drips off your lips. Blue light bulbs in the ceiling fan, blue plastic raincoat printed with white stars, blue meth and blue X pills, blue motherfuckers as you puff pineapple blunts at Magnolias on a Thursday night. Blue text bubbles telling your sister you love her more than she will ever know. Blue tears thinking of losing her. The twisters came back today and poor people died, dreaming of a second chance and asking for forgiveness to wake up both healed and hurt, grieving this memory of home. The silver river reflecting metallic arch scales, the neon fires glowing behind bathhouse glory holes. Backlit shadows of faggots sucking cocks down Samuel Shepherd across the river. Ghosts gather in the basement of faces to bathe in tubs of piss and dance to the pulse of uncut 90s ecstasy, pressed and pilled and licked out of wet, choking anuses. Dreaming again of red brick pyramids on the Mississippi Delta, dreaming of red cocks blushing pearl-thick ribbons, dreaming of ripping apart poems in envelopes the color of bone. Hang the wrinkled sheets above the door and let the bulls fuck our mouths through the slits. Guide the shafts, greased with 5G, down the mucus warm guts. Good pussy makes it so easy and bad trades so goddamn hard. I miss Bryn Kelly. Her legacy tells us that what we do is magic and a sacred duty. There are no complete strangers. Something she knew so inherently, how she clocked me from jump. Her own magic and spell casting so intricate and beautiful and playful and delightfully wicked. Technicolor, transsexual glamour, soft matte light, pink cherry, sugar cum oozing from Crisco pie lattice crust. The crinoline peeking from buttercup yellows, the dewy cherubic cheeks worshipped by horny and hungry masks, their fingers painting and staining pussy walls with berry juice. But sometimes the dreams we carry in love become too heavy for any one of us to handle. Trans women deal with so much pain, heartbreak, trauma, and yes, we can be the source of that same pain in other people. Our marginalization is not an excuse for hurting someone else, even if they hold worlds of privilege over us, but our oppressions and the ways we are abused and the complicity of the community in our traumas are a huge part of the answer of why we are not afforded the means to cope with conflicts and interpersonal frustrations and relationships with those we love. To say it plainly, if trauma made you do it, then make her mess ass pick her shit up off the floor. The walking away from it all to find a new way to fall down, taking portrait mode photos of pipes and hot rails under ocean water LED lights. Jimmy rambles on about spy drones and AI and mosquitoes, and he's the only man willing to come back for more, always carrying ice and baby oil in his backpack. His neon pink painted toes, his repent post-prison stomach tattoo, his dildo thick cock, his broken torches and ripped baggies stamped with red queens of diamonds. He was the closest thing to a tweaker boyfriend a tranny drug slut could hope for over the course of 2 years, spun up and cum dumped in red lace amphetamines. He was prison trade, a part-time painter, part-time drug dealer who missed his calling as a hung porn performer. 2 years of 3-day Tina vendors and foot fetishes had trained her how to prep, handle, and take his 10-inch dick. They had first met the summer she started hormones. His photos of a massive cock prompted her to invite him over immediately. At the time, she lived on the second floor of a yellow brick shotgun apartment. And when he arrived that morning, he was rock hard flying on speed. She even remembers how he wore the exact same clothes in his Grindr photos, a royal blue sports jersey, white mesh basketball shorts, and a gray baseball cap. Jimmy reconnected with her a few months into 2020 after she moved into a new apartment with loose doorknobs, cracked glass, plastic blinds, and front windows that bathed her body in the most gorgeous natural light. Her new apartment soon became a temple full of fornication rites and nights full of neon pink silk light painting shadows of pipes and live porn on empty walls. Their first few sessions were awkward, but hot, because she was getting fucked in a trap house. He stayed at 4 blocks south of Mardell and Kings Highway. They would shotgun Tina and make out while listening to MacArthur Park on a blue faux suede top air mattress, eventually scrambling for cock rings and lube. Transsexual Bluetooth pills popped into blonde tweakers' scruff throats. T.S. Cowgirl writing a swollen voice throbbing with magnificent animals. The kind Macy stroked in ripped Versace, exposed thighs, milky and pussy spread for the gods of yellow Texas hills. As the gold halo of morning sits upon the spun crowns of our cheeks, chewed and meth-licked, as the world falls back on me like the bodies of martyrs piled under rotten mounds throughout the rubble alleys. The voices of empire are serene, while the skies are sour and sick. But he holds you and kisses you in clouds of meth smoke, because what else do he have but this goddess in his arms and a bong of ice to rinse and repeat this, release this, reject this, remember this, pulling on your collar, sucking screen tests and dreams, rolling into credits, as if he never left you. And you still saw his cheeks painted in carnival lights as the Ferris wheel hangs upon women writing from the book of Revelations. And you take him home and let his violence wash you in crystal visions. These are the gnashing silver teeth slicing joyfully into the rabbit's heart. This is the painted smile chipped in white dead lead. This is the sissy faggot cortege. This is buyer's remorse. This is survivor's guilt. This is rapture, a love story for mourners. As the amyl nitrate fumes soak your sinus walls and bleach your brain, as you submerge your femme transsexual body into the cold chlorine pool, as the sky opens her legs to you in violet blue clouds, as you lip sync alone on this concrete and tile stage surrounded by pine trees and blood-drunk mosquitoes, as the music rising from your portable speakers transports you into the realm of back alley drag bars, where love got abandoned on the dance floor, as you feel the weight of grief lift off your back and hover above your body, as the void inside your soul becomes a supernova, a prismatic cosmic annihilation, as your tears roll into the deep end, where you hold every moment you held him, or cheated on him, or wailed for him, or waited on him to get back on his meds, or fucked him until the sun rose and the earth felt holy and new and never ending. Remember that the spirit can only secrete the memory of a wound. The pain settles somewhere beyond the bone. When will you forgive yourself for the wounds you painted on the back of an Iowa sky? The colors all washed in skunk clouds and metallic rainbows. He kisses your lips and bites your tits on the 6th floor of a river moonrise. Takes you back in time when everything felt like honeysuckle love and you hadn't gotten addicted to meth yet. When he loved you and you loved him and nothing was broken, but now your nails melt on green skull glass pipes and the mornings hang upon crystal blue drugs and oil slick palms. You could have left when you had the chance, he tells you. And you wonder how the mantis chooses to leave its own head in the slobbering jaws of other everlasting life. I am really over having to defend my right to exist as a transsexual woman. It's getting really fucking old. If it's not from TERFs, it's from chasers. If it's not chasers, it's well-meaning liberals. If it's not progressives, it's fucking fascists. If it's not fascists, it's faggots. If it's not fags, it's faces you love, but even they find a way to join the never-ending course of, you will never be a woman. And what makes it even more comically painful is that there are places where you will always be Joshua, and you go back there because it will always be precious to you, and the air seeps into your skin like a verse at dusk that calls your soul out of your body and into dark woods, and you never want to leave, despite the screens flickering the words, something soft grew up here, and something soft returned. But this ain't home anymore, because a home speaks your name. You call me Joss, but my body only answers to doll. Strange how a symbol stains us porcelain figurines, thin white women, blue bonnets, blue ribbons, blonde hair, blue eyes. I would dream that I could become a doll, smooth and emotionless with painted delicate lips, but staring at myself in the mirror, a brown, bangy drug doll pouting back, I think of how wretched these symbols are. A dollhouse for a home, a cosmic pastel hell to smile and rot inside. I understand now that love can be both full and frail. Hearing my mother tell me how my cousins and my aunts and uncles are no longer on speaking terms. Meanwhile, she bakes me pies and cobblers and cakes for a 24-hour trip home. And yes, she cannot speak aloud my power as a woman before her. Too painful to see me as her daughter, as her heir of motherhood, as I kneel before her, moaned out, begging for her approval. And yet she loves me the best way she knows how, always reminding me that nothing can keep us apart, and that wherever she stands, I will always have a home. It was then that I truly forgave her and came to terms with how our relationship will likely exist for the rest of our lives. Beauty lies in a dying husk, and there exist electric annihilations within ditch flowers, glitter or garbage. It all gives me hope that one day we can build something better than this. Wherever these seeds land, let it scorch these vile nations and birth a new mutation toward true liberation. Burning the precious lace, she kicks the flames to the sky, dares the gods to bring their Tesla chariots down so she can toss the ashes into their oiled beards and coked out pearl eyes, threatens to sacrifice her pain in the marble lobbies of their temples, hollers to the mountains, she ain't finna be their oracle whore no more. She is a cosmic cunt full of heroes come. She is a mother of Medusas growling for vengeance. She a new kind of holy flesh, draped in gold lame fleece, too glorious for their dying cults. As the lace disappears into fluorescent charred smoke, she lights a blunt and slips on her gown of shells, rubs red clay on her tits, drinks the oracle's LSD brew, soaks her ass pussy with fragrant oils, tells the gods it's time to honor their promises. She has ascended and she's tired of listening to them. She mounts her Mustang horse and tells the divine crowd to get the fuck out of her way. Thank you.
Get out of your body, yeah. Get out of your body. Everybody like this. Or just sit in your seat. You don't have to stand up. You just need to like move your bodies a little bit. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. Yes. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me. We have a whole other future to go. It's gonna be amazing. And I'm sure you need to go grab a glass cup of water, and we will be back in a moment. What else can I tell you about? This is being live streamed, which means it's also being archived. You can access our archive on the Poetry Center website, which means you can go all the way back decades and decades and see performances from incredible people. We also have these amazing broadsides, which are poetry posters. We have broadsides, and then we have the actual like event posters that go back many years. One of my favorites is does anybody know the poet Louise Glick? She's very sort of buttoned up. Like this is from like the 70s, and she's all like, ah yes, amazing.
amazing. Anyway, I shouldn't objectify her, but she's amazing. I respect her deeply and also will talk about the sexy coaster. Okay, let's do this thing. Everybody settled in?
Yeah.
Good. We're ready to hear some more poems. If there are cheers that people are just grabbing some snacks, feel free to grab snacks whilst I read this bio. When I get anxious, I sing words instead of saying them. And it's a weird tick. It's okay. I blame my bell choir director, actually. Did you notice I went, here's a little fact about me while you get snacks and sit down. I grew up in a really wonderful, wonderful church, which was just like, God loves you, you're good, you know? And so I was in like regular choir, but I was also in bell choir. Does anybody know what bell choir is? No. Yeah, I see Kathy's like, yeah. It's you bring like the big bells all the way to the tiny bells and big bells, and you do it at the service or whatever. It is the nerdiest thing you could ever do. I'm hard, I can't, like stamp collectors are cooler than bell choir members, by far. And my bell choir director, Karen Johnson, bless her heart, we're friends on Facebook still. And she would just, now, in retrospect, I think she might have been anxious as well, because she would sing things at us, like, please stop doing that! Yeah. Are we ready? Are we at snacks? Are we ready to stop embarrassing stories I'm Marie? Great. Come on back, let's settle in. We've got the door open, so it should be getting cool in here anytime now. Charif Shanahan. Is the author of 2 collections of poetry, including Trace Evidence Poems, Tin House 2023, which was a finalist for the National Book Critics Circle Award in Poetry and the Kingsley Tufts Poetry Award, longlisted for the National Book Award for Poetry, and winner of the Whiting Award, the Lambda Literary Award for Gay Poetry, and the Publishing Triangle's Tom Gunn Award. I was one of the judges for the Lambda Literary Award. Not supposed to tell anybody.
Thank you.
Being recorded. Originally from the Bronx, he is an assistant professor of English at Northwestern University, and we're so happy to have him. Come on up. Yes. Good. Is that good?
Great, perfect. Hi, everybody.
Hi. No, let's make it taller. You're very tall. You're tall. That's as tall as it goes. But it'll be okay. Yeah?
That's good.
Okay.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
Joss, I love your work, and I can't wait for your book.
Yes.
I am really happy to be here. Thank you so much, Marty. Thank you to folks at Haymarket, Chicago Poetry Center. I actually launched Trace Evidence here in March 2023. Thanks to this dazzling one and another who helped, and it was a beautiful, very memorable evening, so I'm really happy to be back to share poems from the book. I think I'll do maybe 4 or so poems. And because I've been reading from the book a lot, I've been prefacing the poems, and I'm just gonna share them and not give context. I'm just gonna
No embarrassing stories? Come on.
No, not tonight. All right. Mulako, Quadroon, somewhere between. I want to tell you what for me it has been like. To speak at all, I must occupy a position in a system whose positions I appear not to occupy. Though some say such non-position is my position, speak from that placeless place outside the system, etc., some would say and have said. If the placeless place is created by terms of the system, then it must be within the system, even if it appears otherwise. And so it may be that the position presumed to be of body might better be regarded as a position of thought or a receptivity to possible experience, as conceived by the still implausible eye of a man who defined the flimsy self he carried against those whom he did not understand or know or in any real sense see. And if the possible vision of that implausible I accounted for you in name only, then filed you under consequence, side effect. It is not that the system fails to position you, it positions you actively and specifically nowhere. So that you appear on the outside, but remain within. Or you appear within, but remain on the outside. Which is to say, in other words, a part and a part. And so if to speak in a particular social world, I must occupy a position, and that world consists of positions that are clear, but none of which clearly I occupy, then it may be that I cannot, even if I want to, tell you what, for me, it has been like. And so. This is called Control. It's a San Francisco home where I used to live, so maybe I am giving you a little anecdote now. And I was just there last week, actually. Control. In the Pornhub video, two houseless men suck each other on a subway bench. It's late at night, but not late enough no one is around. The people are outraged, call the men disgusting, New York and humans disgusting, while they continue to record. I have the space inside my body to feel the two men, their commitment to pleasure absent basic comfort. The one's face nearly neutral, as though his friend's mouth and the stain of existence canceled each other out, almost like a mannequin, just there. On High Street yesterday morning, walking briskly in no clear direction, I saw a man on the opposite sidewalk, a motorcycle parked at a right angle to his feet. He put one hand on a handle, the other on his crotch, and glared above the slow-moving traffic at me. The question in his face, its own answer. When I tell you I don't know what to do with my life, I mean I don't know how to stay inside it. Joy, Gary says, is a feeling of profound gratitude. And before I can ask for what, for having come how far I have come, I celebrate, my friend, and think at once we should be grateful then for surviving a country that makes of survival a victory and not a right. We talk about our boyfriends, syntax, Nella Larson's passing. Gary leans across the couch to touch my chin. We were lovers once, briefly. I look at him, look at me. Try to love yourself, darling, he says. You're going to be here a long time. So there's a long poem, more anecdote, more context. There's a long poem at the center of the book that I'm not going to read, which is about a bus accident that I survived in Morocco, where I had gone for what I thought would be a year on a Fulbright to research my genealogy and representations of blackness in the Maghreb in that part of North Africa. And I'm giving that context because it's my understanding that in the workshop today, the generative workshop you all looked at a poem called Exiting Universitätsspital, Zürich, New Year's Eve 2015. And after the accident in Morocco, I ended up in Zurich, Switzerland, where I had lived with an ex-partner who's Swiss, and many surgeries. And 2 months later, I finally left the building, and so I'm just giving that context so that you can more fully appreciate this one. On exiting Universitätsspital, Zurich, New Year's Eve, 2015. The open air had the predictable sparkle. After 2 months, not only indoors, but flat on my back, waiting, mostly, for the neck they kept cutting open to heal. So that when they wheeled me out through double doors, and the tram passed across my field of view, and the scattered strangers flecked the white blur my eyes made, like floaters after a long sleep, I felt sudden in my plexus, the exact angle of loss I had lived with when I lived here, as though it had waited for me to return, so as to enter me again, as though I had not lived 4 years without it, elsewhere, where they say life is, regardless of where you are. So that as the bells of the Fraumünster rang from inside the steeples, the tail of the lake stretching out of view between the hills on either side, I became, as an actor becomes, animated, populated by someone else's feelings, someone else's spirit. And now, a few years later still, I know to ask if this complex of feeling, deep frozen, waiting for me, was my actual life. Not a portion of the life, not a possible life, but my tangled, impatient, actual, implausible, resilient, fucked up life. And I'm just going to close with the final poem in the book. This summer of 2020, I was preparing. So I know now not to say that I'm not going to give context. How many times have I done this? It's like, never say that, Sharif. So summer of 2020, I was preparing to leave California for Chicago for a job, and of course we all remember that there was heightened social unrest that summer following the unindicted murders of Mr. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and I was contacted by someone I used to know in college this is recorded, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I wrote a poem. It's called. Sorry. It's called Worthiness. It's called Worthiness. And it, as I said, it closes the book. Oh, and just so it takes me about 5 minutes to read, so you know what to expect. And it's just a series of one-line stanzas, so you can try to imagine or visualize what it is that you're hearing. And it's just a beat, a beat, a beat, a beat. Worthiness. Guns and tear gas on TV are not where I want to begin. The rejection for me came from both directions. Home was not a place in any sense, an idea defined by its absence. What about here? What about now? I know to ask myself. Years ago, I hurt my neck in an accident, I write, and before I can finish, I turn away from me. Who was the first who turned away? Some say I lack the right to complain because I still have breath. I try to be deliberate, to be present inside the time that partitions the day. Time is less a measure of what is, more a framework of control, a structuring tool. An hour reflects the notion that we belong and are separate at once. I understand so little about progress. Some call grief complaint. Once an acquaintance performing both conviction and lament, how hard it must be to walk into a room and be neither black nor white. His motivation not to empathize, but to test a hypothesis, to ask me who I was, not seeing he had already decided. I admit I fail at being present. I prepare for the hour I lose by preparing. The self I inhabit is fluid, shifting, I know to remind myself. The chokehold originates in the martial arts, a position of active defense. Air chokes and blood chokes are the two types. In both instances, the purpose is to induce an unconscious state, even death. As the measures of day proceed, an unconscious state becomes my objective. You'll have to forgive me for being heavy. Speaking to you here like this is the most difficult thing I can do. The presence it requires is agonizing, feels fatal. On a cellular level, trauma is inscribed into the body of the person who survives it, scientists confirm. Some say the word trauma is overused these days to the extent its meaning is diminished. The intention of the chokehold is to induce an unconscious state. Unconscious states vary in nature and origin. In waking dreams, before I wake, the tasks of the day assert themselves. One task is to go to the gym. One task is to deconstruct racial constructs. Guns and tear gas are not where I would choose to begin. I try to be deliberate, to be present. In a way, my to-do list seems manageable, even standard. I reduce each task to its constituent parts for efficiency and practicability. In an email to a student, I explain, to racialize is the act of assigning a racial category to a person's body, e.g. an Arab from the Maghreb, his mother in the United States is racialized as black. Scientists say there is no single physical attribute that establishes a so-called race. Scientists say trauma lives inside the body and is passed on generationally. Physiologically, joy is a surge of dopamine and serotonin in the brain. In an experience of joy, it is unclear whether physiology or event comes first. 9.5 minutes of a knee on a neck is not formally a chokehold. The choke of chokehold points less to the neck of the victim, more to the hands of the perp, e.g. you can choke a pen, a water hose, a clothesline. 9.5 minutes of a knee on a neck is more akin to, and I turn away from me again. Is one's psychology a spiritual or physiological occurrence? If he felt scared or threatened, or even a pressure to do his job in a way he had fundamentally misinterpreted but believed in because reinforced by the system he worked for and within, why was his face so neutral? So casual. The act of racialization occurs instantly prior to applying interpretations of gender or age, scientists say. In the late aughts, popular culture felt the need to recast homophobia. You're not scared, you're just an asshole, the meme said. Racism is not etymologically conceived as fear. The ism suffix forms action nouns of verbs, e.g. baptism is the action noun of the verb baptize. Race, by this logic, would be a verb root. Racism, the act of performing race. The sinister connotation of racism suggests the race being performed by racism is sinister. If racism exists to uphold the supremacy of the white racial category, whiteness by this logic is sinister. I try to be deliberate, to inhabit the present moment that agitates me into fleeing. Being here now with you, speaking here now with you, is the most difficult thing I can do. I am not being rational. I am trying to reduce the present into its constituent parts. Last month, a student emailed me to say she was too scared to go to any class but ours. It was not a compliment. I did not take it as a compliment. I am tired of apologizing for the heaviness of what I am required to discuss in order to live. I tell the student she is worthy. I ask her to write a poem about her worthiness. When I turn away from the day, I enter an unconscious state. I seek it. Though years ago I wrote, I want to enter my life like a room. Thank you so much.
One more round for the open micers. Thank you all so much for being here. Couple quick things. Sharif will have books for sale at the back table. Josh, do you have anything to capitalize on?
You can give me dollar bills.
Huge thanks to the Chicago Poetry Center staff, our incredible volunteer, Chris. Yes, interpreter, Hala. I want to say it's not as easy as it looks, but it does not look easy, so that's all right. Yes, incredible. Thank you so much. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you.
Overcome your introversion, make a poetry friend. We'll see you next month on Thursday, November 21st.